From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Appeal Court declares Zamfara governorship polls inconclusive, fixes Friday for judgment on Kano Plateau Guba polls. Troops arrest suspected ISWAP informant in Borno. Borno State government provides relief for victims of IDP camp fire incident. On the foreign scene, Bokai maintains slim lead over George Weah in Liberia presidential elections. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. We begin with political litigations. The Court of Appeal in Abuja on Thursday declared the Zamfara State governorship election inconclusive. In a unanimous decision, the three-member panel led by Justice Oyebisi Folayemi nullified the return of Governor Dauda Lawal of the People's Democratic Party as the winner of the governorship poll. The court also ordered rerun in the three local government areas, and the local governments are Maradun, Birnin Magaji, and Bukuyum. It held that the Zamfara State Election Petitions Tribunal did not consider the evidence provided by the appellants, the All Progressives Congress. The court also dismissed the results provided by the APC and the Independent National Electoral Commission for Maradun local government area. Our Daily Trust regional editor Yushao Adamu is joining us via phone to give an update on the situation. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour tonight, Yushao.
Thank you.
Okay, Yushao, if you can you paint us a picture on how Zamfara is reacting to this latest development?
Well, the state capital, Gusau, I can say is a calm. Many residents are going about their normal businesses. And from my observation, majority of the residents are not even aware of the judgment. And this may not be unconnected with the situation the state find itself, because the judgment or the court did not sit in Zamfara, rather in Abuja, which is far away from the state capital. So this is the reason why many people are not even aware of the judgment. And secondly, top government officials have left for Abuja to attend the court sitting. So many people are not even aware. They are rather going about their normal businesses. But the only reaction that I can say we have observed is from the major opposition political party, the APC. I could recall vividly, shortly after the tribunal judgment, the APC issued a statement congratulating the gubernatorial candidate of the APC in Kano, Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, over his victory, and at the same time condemning the verdict of the tribunal in Zamfara. Because the three local government which the appeal court ordered for the rerun, the local government, the APC is alleging overvoting. So they describe the outcome of the appeal court as long overdue, because the Northwest APC Publicity Secretary, Alhaji Musa Mailati Amada, has so far reacted, which he said they expected the verdict as it comes now, because that the allegation they have raised at the tribunal, but unfortunately they lost the case to PDP. That is why they even appeal the upper court, which now declared that or ordered that rerun should be carried out in the three affected local governments.
Okay, Ishao, is there a chance that this judgment could heighten political tension in the state?
Obviously, there is nothing like that, because what is bothering people or residents in the state is insecurity not politics. They are battling with the issue of banditry. So their concern is the security, not the budget, of course.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Yishao Adamu, for joining us and for the update. We will continue to follow through with the story.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, has called on the Chief Justice of the Federation and President of the Court of Appeal to disband and reconstitute the Plateau State Appeal Panel over alleged compromise. The acting national chairman of the party made the call at a news conference at the party secretariat in Abuja while accusing the APC-led government of using the institutions of the state to emasculate opposition parties in the country. Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The fallout from the judicial outcomes regarding the 2023 elections continues as the leadership of the main opposition party says it had earlier demanded the disbandment of what it called the compromised Plateau State Appeal Panel, but the authorities concerned remain adamant despite how high the stakes are in the charged atmosphere in Plateau State.
Of particular concern is the perverse pattern and attempts by the APC to use certain hugely compromised electoral petition courts to snatch election clearly won by the PDP and award them to the defeated candidates of the APC, who were rejected by the people at the polls in the most of these states across the country.
The party alleged that the Tinubu administration is using the institutions of the state, including the judiciary, to deny PDP its election victories in Zamfara, Sokoto, amongst others, in an attempt to turn the country into a one-party state.
The Plateau State Election Appeal Court panel, in clear departure from well-established judicial precedents on matters settled by the Supreme Court, delivered varying, contradictory, and conflicting judgments on election appeals with the same subject matter, same facts, same circumstances, and same applicable laws in biased judgment clearly skewed against the PDP in favor of the APC.
The concerns raised by the PDP are coming hours after its presidential candidate in the February 25 election, Atiku Abubakar, called on opposition political parties in the country to form an alliance against perceived plans by the ruling party to muzzle the opposition and turn Nigeria into a one-party state. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, appeal court will deliver judgment on Kano governorship election appeal filed by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf and his party, the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), on Friday. Yusuf and his party, the NNPP, are challenging the judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal that voided his election on September 20 after deducting 165,663 votes from his total vote tally for not being stamped, signed and dated. The tribunal then declared APC governorship candidate Yusuf Gawuna winner of the election. Chief Press Secretary to the governor, Sanusi Bature, said in a letter sent to legal team of the governor, informing them that the Court of Appeal will deliver judgment by 10 a.m. in the morning. The NNPP and APC are both optimistic that the judgment will favor them. NNPP chairman in the state, Hashim Suleiman Dungurawa, said that justice will be served and the verdicts of the lower court will be overturned, while an aide to the APC governorship candidate, Hassan Fage, expressed confidence that the appellate court will uphold the verdicts of the tribunal based on the evidence presented. 1,172 permanent voters' cards were found dumped in Tashan Low polling unit on Thursday morning. Now, the polling unit is reputed to have the highest number of votes in the Turaki A ward in Jalingo. Eyewitnesses confirmed that the exhibits were handed to the nearest immigration office for further investigation. The report.
It's just a few days to the chairmanship and councillorship election in Taraba State, And it is shocking to find 1,172 permanent voters cards in waterways at Tashanlo, close to the Divisional Immigration Office. Witnesses gathered the exhibits and handed them to the Immigration Divisional Office in the area. It is gathered that permanent voters cards were found in 3 other locations in Jalingo.
So, muna nan neighbors the Immigration Office.
I was the person who packed the exhibit and handed them over to the Divisional Immigration Office located within the area. And when I was packing them, a woman came and told us that the same exhibit was found in another area of Turaki A ward. Another person told us that in Maji Dadi ward, another bunch of PVC was found dumped there. My name is Nasiru Bako. I'm the chairman Turaki A Vigilante Group. I was in the house trying to come to the office and my people called me that permanent voters' cards were found in the waterways close to our office. I rushed to the office to confirm the issue and I saw them myself. We then handed them over to the nearest area office of immigration for further investigation.
Yesterday in the morning around 9 o'clock, I was passing by, then I saw a crowd of people near immigration office at Tashanlo. So I ran to see what was happening. Then I saw a lot of voters' cards. A lot of voters' cards dumped inside a gutter. So, and we don't know who dumped it. And when we were looking at the voters' card, a woman came by. She said to us that she saw similar things at Sabongari. Yeah, but I didn't see that one. But definitely in the palace where I saw it, my own eyes.
The Immigration Divisional Office confirmed that the exhibits were submitted to their office, but refused to grant an interview on the issue.
Now, with the Court of Appeal expected to deliver judgment on the Plateau State gubernatorial election dispute any moment from now, the residents and political gladiators in the state are gearing up for what the outcome will be. The Election Petition Tribunal had earlier affirmed the election of Governor Caleb Mutfwang, but the APC governorship candidate Nantawe Yilwada appealed the judgment. Adu Musa reports.
There were several protests by the PDP supporters against the appeal court judgment after the removal of PDP reps and senators from the state by the appeal court over what the court described as lack of party structure. This has indeed changed the political narrative in the state. The sacking of all elected lawmakers in National Assembly on the same platform with Governor Mutfwang has created doubt over the governor's survival chances at the appeal court. Stakeholders of both the PDP and APC are expressing confidence of victory ahead of the judgment.
Our great expectation that we are expecting to come out from the judgment from the appeal court, especially from the adoption on Saturday, we are expecting highly that the judgment is going to be in our favor, the PDP.
Said, this case, we have a very clear case at the Court of Appeal, right from the tribunal. And by the grace of God, from the judgments already given from the Court of Appeal, I want to tell you we are confident that the remaining cases and judgments will be given in our favor. Surely, we are hoping APC will win all the outstanding cases in Plateau State.
Some residents speak on their expectation before, during, and after the
judgment that is coming up, at least in Plateau State here. At least we're supposed to be our brother's keeper. Any judgment that comes out, we pray to God Almighty to choose the best for us, because anybody that you see there is not the person that took himself to it is from God, and we people will have to bear it, and we pray to the judgment, the appeal, to do free and fair judgment.
The appeal court judgment that is coming up, we just pray for a free and fair judgment from the judges, and we pray that any outcome of the result, people should accept it, and we should work hand in hand together.
There is apprehension that the judgment may push political tensions over the boiling point. So, what is the police doing to contain a possible breakdown of law and order ahead of the
Because
judgment?
concerning security, the command have put a lot of security measures in place, and we are watching what is happening. We are still calling on our citizens. I think that is what we will do for now, to get to understand the process. And when they understand the process, they follow the normal route to get their grievances heard. We cannot continue to destroy our properties and put our lives in danger on account of any judgment. So whatever way the judgment will swing, we are calling on our good people of Plateau State to respect the law. And
traditional and religious leaders in the state have been calling on residents to remain calm and law-abiding before, during, and after the governorship election dispute. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Moving on now to security matters. Troops of Sector 3 Operation Hadding K, in collaboration with Multinational Joint Task Force, have reportedly apprehended Aji Dala, a suspected terrorist informant in Borno State. The 45-year-old suspect was reportedly captured on Tuesday in Mongunu local government area by the troops of the 242 Battalion in conjunction with intelligence operatives in Charamari area. Abdallah's arrest is said to be linked to a letter allegedly issued by the Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP outlining their plan to attack Mongunu town on November 17, 2023. The letter, signed by one Amir Halat Muhammad, warned the residents of an impending assault, triggering panic among the residents of Mongunu. In a related development, troops of 7th Division and Sector 1 of Operation Hadding K, in a separate operation, successfully killed 6 ISWAP fighters in their enclaves in Gime and Muzuri villages of Borno State. The operation also led to the rescue of 78 kidnapped victims involving 30 women and 48 children, while several weapons, including AK-47 rifles and 3 Dane guns, were recovered during the operation. Still on security matters, the 23 Armored Brigade has intercepted and transferred 6 suspected cattle rustlers, 2 Hammer buses and 8 cows to the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Adamawa State Command. In a press briefing by NSCDC in the state, Assistant Superintendent Nyako Baba, the command's public relations officer, explained that the suspects were apprehended at the military checkpoint in Numan. The 8 cattle are in the custody of Mieti Allah for safekeeping. The state commandant, Ibrahim Mainasara, has instructed personnel of the command to intensify the search for the remaining 3 suspects while investigations are ongoing, adding that once concluded, the suspects will face prosecution in court.
That one Malang Auta masterminded the kidnapping of Alhaji Arande Mohammed, who was kidnapped on the 15th October this year in his house at Wuru Ahi before the local government, Adamawa State, at 11 p.m. in the night. The command has intensified effort to arrest the remaining 3 suspects that accompanied the suspected kidnapper Bakar Makau to bring them to book.
And in the nation's capital, Operation Safe FCT has recorded significant progress with the disruption of criminal activities in the Federal Capital Territory. A joint task force launched by Minister of the FCT Nyesom Wike in recent times has carried out coordinated raids on criminal hideouts across the FCT. Dorcas Yakubu reports.
The Joint Task Force, comprising of the Nigerian Police Force, military, DSS and NSCDC, recorded successes with the arrest of 135 suspects at various black spots located at Kwali, Dusan Alhaji, Pape, Karu, Aya, Nyanya, Karimo, Karshi, Kuje, Airport Road, Bega Roundabout, Jabi, Orozo, Mararaba, and many more. In a briefing, Commissioner of Police of the FCT Command, Haruna Garba, stated that out of the 135 suspects arrested, 75 suspects were arraigned in court for various offences, while 65 were sentenced to pay designated fines. The remaining 10 were sentenced to community service.
In line with the mandate of the operation, the Joint Task Force, comprising of the Nigerian Police Force, the military, the DSS, and the NSCDC carry out coordinated raids of criminal hideouts, shanties, uncomputed buildings that are scattered all over the FCT, and of course, clearance operations in the bushes and forests at the borders of the FCT.
He added that 39 suspects paraded are under interrogation and will be charged to court at the conclusion of the investigation.
That out of these numbers, 75 suspects has already been arraigned in court for various offences, while 65 were sentenced to pay designated fines. The remaining 10 were sentenced to community service.
Also speaking, the suspects called on government to temper justice with mercy, alleging that some of them are innocent of the accusations.
So you don't arrest me with anything. Now inside my shop, you arrest me. Soldier, you check my shop, you don't arrest me with anything. You carry me come here. I beg government, may you help me.
They hold me at beggar. They just charge my motor. They see 2 wraps of smoke from inside my motor. Since then I do here. This is 2 weeks now. Maybe government got have mercy to us.
The commissioner called on residents of the FCT to remain vigilant and report suspicious activities to the police and other law enforcement agencies. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Anambra State Police Command said it has intercepted 2 syndicates that specialize in extorting money from unsuspecting members of the public through death threats. The state police spokesman, Tochukwu Ikenga, said in a statement on Thursday that police operatives at Ozubulu in Ekusigo local government area and Umunze in Orumba South local government area nabbed the suspect after a painstaking investigation. Ikenga explained that the suspect had sent text messages to their victims identifying themselves as members of Eastern Security Network, demanding a huge sum to avoid he and his daughter being kidnapped and killed. In a similar development, the police at Ozubulu headquarters of Ekusiku local government area arrested 1 male suspect who used 2 different lines to issue death threats to a businessman. He claimed to be an ESN commander and ordered his victim to pay up or be killed. Now, Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Police Command, Aderemi Adioye, has commended both DPOs for their diligence and painstaking effort, which led to unraveling the identities of the suspects and their arrest. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Help arrives for survivors of IDP camp fire incident. Details and more after the break.
As night falls in Abuja, the city's dark side comes to life.
Akwai abun da nake sawa a jikina. In dai ba da zuciya ɗaya za ka ɗauke ni, mu tafi akwai abun da zai faru. Yana nuna mini.
The speedy underworld of commercial sex work is flourishing in Nigeria's capital city. Despite the dangers and health hazards, young women join the trade every day in hopes of earning quick money and a life of luxury.
Every day, when I wake up, I used to ask myself, why am I doing this kind of thing? If I see myself on the street, I used to shed tears every day.
They say their families have no idea what they do. While their tears suggest some remorse maybe pain and even regret. These ladies hope others will learn from their story.
Why did you develop this reputation as somebody who is difficult to work with?
I will tell the truth. No matter whose ox is gored, I will say exactly how it is.
This is where I actually sympathize with commissioners of nowadays. Where a commissioner sometimes is just a picture. You find somebody, even a cleaner and the governor's wife, can interfere with their abilities.
Even the ministers, there are very many who respected me, simply because I never complained about them. I never went to ask for a favor. Never.
So none of that has happened?
Nothing.
But if it hasn't happened, do you have hope that now another government coming in?
There is no hope.
So you've given up on politics?
I've given up. It's gone, it's gone.
Retrenchment from work is the most hated thing by unions. It's loss of job means that is loss of life, in fact, for civil servants at that time.
Nigeria's economy, Nigeria's security, Nigeria's intelligence. This is what the materials we were handling. And I thought government would be very interested.
The reasons why you adopted federalism is not because of finesse, not because you like it. It's because of its functional utility.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the main stories. Now, appeal court declares Zamfara governorship polls inconclusive, fixes Friday for judgment on Kano and Plateau governorship disputes. Troops arrest suspected ISWAP informant in Borno. In other news now, activities have resumed in most schools in Imo State, southeast Nigeria, the state which was the epicenter of the entire squabbles that led to the strike appears to have been the hardest hit from the industrial action. Residents are expressing delight that the strike has finally come to an end. Ajibade Praise tells us more.
The strike is over and activities are beginning to surface again in most of the public offices that were formerly shut down because of the nationwide strike. Presently, I am in the government secondary school right here in Owerri, the Imo State capital, and the school is now open and students are back to commence learning. One of them is here with me, and I would like him to express himself.
I feel very happy because we can learn and the normal school activities can be carried out.
The students are now back to school, though not in their full numbers, as some seems to be unaware of the good news. This may be because of the lack of power supply the state has been subjected to for a while, which has deprived them from listening to the news. The Vice Principal Academy, Okoroji Ogechi, narrated their ordeal.
It affected us so much because we need to cover the teachers need to cover their schemes. And we planned having our tests, but because of the strike, the test was called off. Then we told the teachers, I told them to get prepared. Immediately the strike is called off, that will take up from there. Thank God they have called off the strike. Maybe by Tuesday next week, we'll take off with the test writing.
For Ibuchuku Chukwebuka, who is at the verge of writing his WAEC, the strike did not go down well with him following the numerous distractions that comes with it. Though some of the students were able to come to the school, but no learning activities has commenced yet. The attendance of the students are still very low.
I was at home. I'm not supposed to be at home. And everyone was dry. I'm supposed to be at school. To cover up my school for because of WAEC.
And we are here now, the teachers, we are here, but the students, many of them did not come. You can see just few of them. So we are still waiting, maybe by tomorrow, they will all be here. And normal teaching and learning will continue.
The school gate is now open like every other public institution in the state. And it is expected that activities of learning will commence in no distant time. As we speak right now, most of the offices that were shut down as a result of the strike are now in full operation. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
The Nigerian Medical Association Enugu State Chapter has threatened to down tools if the state government and the security agencies fail to address the rising trend of kidnapping of health workers in the state. According to NMA, no fewer than 10 health workers had been abducted, particularly from their workplaces in the past 2 months. In a communique signed by the state chairman of NMA, Dr. Celestine Ugoke, the General Secretary, Dr. Sunday Okafor, the union, after an emergency general meeting on Wednesday, asked all health institutions in the state to, as a matter of urgency, set up a security committee. The NMA urged the health institutions to meet, adopt, and adapt the UNTH template currently being implemented, while also factoring in their peculiarities as the case may be. Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 21 suspected cultists terrorizing the Lafia metropolis. Abubakar Abdullahi reports that the suspects were killed one person and inflicted machete wounds on several others. His report is presented from our studio.
Cultism is one of the crime security agencies are working day and night to curtail in the society. Nasarawa State is no exception to the menace, as at different times security agencies have arrested and prosecuted members of courts who have engaged in criminal activity. There has been a recent clampdown on court activities at different locations of Lafia metropolis as its outskirts, which has led to the arrest of members of these illicit groups. Jerry Victor, the public relations officer of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in the state, narrates recent breakthroughs of the command.
This was as a result of incessant attack meted to individuals in the state, which led to the death of one Musa Abdul Karim, a 19-year-old, at Rimi Uku, Doma Road, Lafia, Nasarawa State.
The NSCDC PRO explained that the suspected cultists were found with locally made pistol, cutlasses, and other weapons which they used in perpetrating crimes.
This is the cartridge that this local made pistol is used. As you can see, it is a very known cartridge, that is being used on this locally made pistol. And of course, some knife, and then we have scissors and the rest. These are the kind of things they usually use to perpetrate this kind of crime.
The PRO maintained that efforts are on by the command to arrest more accomplices of the suspects in order to get rid of such crime in the state. Some of the suspects interviewed, who admitted to inflicting machete cuts on their victims, pleaded for mercy. The suspects are expected to face charges as soon as investigations are completed on their alleged offenses.
Nigeria service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police have failed to honor the invitation to appear before the House of Representatives on Thursday. They were invited to appear as part of the sectoral debate introduced by the House pursuant to Order 17, Rules 1-3 of the Standing Orders of the House. The service chiefs were to meet the Parliament on their constitutional responsibilities to ensure the security of lives and properties, as well as the territorial integrity of the nation. However, the service chiefs, as well as the IGP, sent in representatives which were rejected by the House, which demanded the security chiefs appear in person. The representatives were introduced into the chamber after a motion by the House leader, Professor Julius Ihonvere, was seconded by Aliyu Sani Madaki. But after the self-introduction by the representatives of the service chiefs and the IGP, the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, objected, saying that although the representatives are competent in their capacities, they cannot be allowed to speak on behalf of their principals. The Nigerian Senate has confirmed the appointment of Aminu Maida as the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission. This followed the presentation and adoption of a report of the Committee on Communication by the Chairman, Senator Ikra Bilbis, at the Committee of the Whole on Thursday. Now, Senator Bilbis said that the committee had screened Maida and he had passed all security clearance, possessed the requisite qualifications, professional experience, competence, and regulatory capacity to further ensure success of the NCC.
And having been satisfied with his qualifications, experience, stability, competence, and ability on communication regulatory matters, hereby recommends that the Senate do confirm the nominee, Dr. Aminu Maida, as the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Aminu Maida for appointment as Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Aminu Maida is hereby confirmed as the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission.
Disaster risk management remains key to addressing the numerous challenges impacting Nigeria through natural disasters and security. Nigeria has a significant challenge of displacement, which has pushed millions into destitution and poverty, a situation that calls for urgent intervention. Abdurrahman Umar reports on the theme of a two-day event organized by the National Emergency Management Agency in partnership with international organizations to address the gaps.
This is a gathering of industry experts with the sole aim of unpacking the gaps and challenges militating against effective disaster management in Nigeria.
Furthermore, the recent escalation of growing frequency and severity of disasters in form of banditry, boat mishaps, building collapse, urban and market fires, coupled with hydrometeorological hazards, powered by climate change and climate variability, have ignited the compelling desire to develop the Nigeria Disaster Risk Management Plan. The plan is also very critical in enabling Nigeria to align with and drive the targets of the Sendai Framework, an African Program of Action on Disaster Risk Reduction.
The international partners are synergizing with Nigerian authorities to add value to existing systems, which will help overcome challenges and reject the sector.
Today, almost half of Nigeria's population, which is around 91 million people, face what we define as multidimensional poverty in various dimensions. Communities are constantly being impacted by environmental and health hazards. This includes droughts, floods, epidemics, and many man-made disasters like oil spills and terrorism. Clear that sound disaster risk management at all levels, national to local, is key to building the resilience of communities and the economy.
Emphasis is no longer on disaster management. Talk about the Sendai Framework. It's disaster risk reduction.
Let us forge a path towards a safer and more secure future for our beloved Nigeria.
The chief consultant, Prof. Andrew Obafemi, says the National Strategy for Disaster Risk Reduction and Action Plan for Nigeria is designed to ensure practical deliberations and proper implementations.
Because we are dealing with practical things we are seeing already. But we just need a proper roadmap. We just need a proper guide, action plan to give responsibilities, to assign responsibilities to people, and to commit various stakeholders to ensure that there is proper funding and investing in ensuring that we get it right in this country when it comes to disaster risk reduction.
This stakeholders consultation for the development of the National Strategy for Disaster Risk Reduction and Action Plan for Nigeria project is expected to support the renewed hope agenda of the federal government, especially in the areas of poverty eradication, food security and inclusivity. Abdurrahman Omar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A group of concerned teachers and students in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have appealed to the federal governments and heads of Africa, Caribbean, Pacific states against signing the European Union and Africa, Caribbean and Pacific countries partnership agreement on lesbianism, gay, marriage, bisexual, transgender and queer LGBTQ. Now, the group made the plea in Jos on Wednesday during a peaceful walk to create awareness on the partnership agreement that Nigeria and other African countries were approached to sign. Ado Musa completes the story.
In their respective submissions during the peaceful protest, the students and their teachers believe that if Nigerian government succumb to the European Union's call and sign the LGBTQ agreement, it will spell doom for the country. The group is dissatisfied with an alleged plan by the Nigerian government to sign the pact, arguing that it is primarily aimed at destroying Nigeria and other African countries.
African nation and the ACP, African, Caribbean and Pacific nations, and because there's a subtlety in that agreement that introduces LGBT ideology. And I want to know that that is war against a nation. It's war against our family. It's war against the children's destiny. And schools should rise up. Parents should rise up. Well-meaning Nigerians rise up.
Some students expressed their disapproval over the pact.
And I'm here to say that, and I'm pleading that the Nigerian government shouldn't sign this contract, because if they sign it, they are going to destroy. In fact, humans may even go on extinct because of this.
I am proud to be a girl. When the LGBT comes and destroys my sexuality, it will destroy our nation. Have you checked in our national anthem? Says, "O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right." Our leaders going right. Are they seeing us? I am an African female. I can't just go and just change myself like that. I was created. God knew me before I was born. I cannot just go and just say I'm a boy.
The group therefore urged President Tinubu and other stakeholders in the country to avoid signing the agreement. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Customs Area Controller for Oyo Osun Command, Ben Oramolugo, has restated the command's commitment to deploy the necessary apparatus and engagements in mitigating drug trafficking and abuse, as well as the proliferation of arms and ammunition. The Customs Chief gave this assurance in Ibadan during the handover of 64 sacks and 150 wraps of cannabis sativa with a duty-paid value of 14 million naira in addition to other seized items. The report.
Briefing journalists, the area controller says the command has been able to increase its revenue base through rigorous enforcement measures and strategic initiatives, even as it strives to contribute its quota to the nation's economic growth.
During the period covering September to October 2023, the command, through its rigorous enforcement measures and strategic initiative, has contributed to the economic growth of the nation by collecting the sum of 11,679,200,000 732,583 naira as revenue into the coffers of the federal government. When added to the revenue collected for the period covering January to August 2023, the command has collected a sum of 59,087,983,670 naira 64 kobo. This feat is made possible by our resolve to continue to prioritize trade facilitation.
In its latest success story, the command had intercepted 64 sacks and 150 wraps of cannabis sativa with a street value of over 14 million naira and handed over to officials of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
Like United Nations on Crime and Crime and Drugs said that between 15 and 35, about 14.4% of the population are addicted to drug. NDLA recently said that between 18 and 35, about 40% are addicted to drug. My children are addicted to drug, your own children are addicted to drug. So if you keep quiet, if you don't do anything about it, the future of Nigeria is at stake.
We are very, very grateful to the custom because you have done well. At least you have saved many lives. Had it been this thing enter our community or our society in Nigeria, I don't know what would have happened now. We would have lost or lose a lot of people. But now, with your efforts, something good has already happened.
The command also warned individuals with nefarious intentions aimed at sabotaging the economic development of the nation to steer clear of its coverage areas, as all resources in accordance with extant laws would be deployed to ensure that economic saboteurs are brought to justice.
The First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, on Wednesday paid a condolence visit to the governor of Borno State, Babagana Umara Zulum, in Maiduguri over the death of his mother-in-law, Fatuma Kyari, last week. Fatuma Kyari is the mother to Dr. Falmata Babagana Zulum, the First Lady of Borno State. The First Lady, in the company of the wife of the Vice President of Nigeria, including senators, wives, among others, urged the governor and family members of the deceased to take solace in the will of God. Governor Zulum extended gratitude to the First Lady over the visit to condole with the family.
You know, occasions like this only comes once. Let's come and condole with her because, you know, she's shown me and it's a duty to her, but from her, I saw a lot of support from her. And Her Excellency, Dr. Falmata, you know, Babagana Zulum is somebody very, very dear to me, the way she treats her. You know, and that's why I love her.
We in Borno State, we shall continue to support this administration under your distinguished husband. And inshallah, we shall do everything possible within the Northeast sub-region to ensure that this administration succeeds in all the developmental effort that our father is doing.
A day after massive fire incident destroyed over 1,000 makeshift houses for displaced persons at Muna camp in Maiduguri, the Borno State government has responded with provision of relief materials to cushion the impact of the incident. The Deputy Governor of Borno State, Usman Kadafur, visited the IDP camp to commiserate with survivors and assess the level of damage by the fire outbreak. The Deputy Governor, while reassuring the displaced persons, said that the intervention by the government has become imperative to help cushion the effects of the incident. He added that the IDPs will be sensitized on the dangers of fire outbreak and prevention methods to avert further incidents. He revealed that the government will resettle the IDPs soon. Some of the items delivered include bags of maize flour, mattresses, buckets, blankets, and other food and non-food items.
One round, you can see a household is cooking inside the room, and especially now that the weather have changed, I think we need to sensitize them on how to cook properly, you know, manage fire in such situation. We have done a lot in terms of resettlement.
About 1,370. 1,370. That one includes the one that fire has engulfed it, and also the other structures that we tried to destroy to stop the encroachment of the fire to other sides of the community.
Ni na gode abin da gwamna da deputy gwamna da mutanen Sema da Nema abin da suka yi mana.
I'm so grateful for this support from the governor, deputy governor, Sema and Nema, including other agencies. We experienced a lot of problems after the fire incident, and it didn't took long. They responded. We are happy. May God bless them.
In another tragic incident, a story building located in Oyibo, Lagos State, partially collapsed in the early hours of Thursday, killing a yet-to-be-identified older woman. The building has since been cordoned off, and Lagos State Building Control Agency has been contacted, while search and rescue operations have commenced. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency said in a statement on Thursday that the woman died from the impact of the partial collapse, while no one else was injured in the collapse. The agency explained that an internal suspended beam in a room collapsed due to the aging and lack of maintenance of the structure. Now time to take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again. Let's now take a look at sports, business updates put together by Chiamaka Nwafo.
The Association of Asian Houses of Nigeria said 3.44 trillion naira was raised through corporate bonds and the issuance of commercial paper by private companies and government agencies. The president of AIHN, Ike Chioke, made this disclosure in Lagos during the group's annual general meeting and presentation of the 2022 annual report. Given the group's financial position as of December 2022, he said its revenue increased by 31% in the past 3 years. Chioke added that the group's total assets stood at 416 million naira in 2022, which shows an increase when compared to 361 million naira recorded in the 2021 financial year. He maintained that the investment banking segment of the market achieved this milestone in 2022 despite global and domestic macroeconomic headwinds. Kenya is set to get additional $938 million from IMF soothing nerves. The International Monetary Fund has reached a staff-level agreement with Kenya, unlocking immediate access to $682.3 million tranche and boosting the current lending program by $938 million, the fund said on Thursday. Now, the East African nation is grappling with acute liquidity challenges caused by uncertainty over its ability to access funding from financial markets before a $2 billion euro bond matures next June. Its balance of payments and financial positions have also been strained by the legacy of the COVID-19 pandemic and frequent climate change-induced droughts, the fund said at the conclusion of a 2.5-week review mission to Nairobi. The current program, agreed in April 2021, was first bumped up in May by an extra $1 billion, including $544 million under the IMF's Resilience and Sustainability Facility and a new arrangement under the same RSF. Still on loans, the International Monetary Fund Executive Board has approved a loan of about $178 million for Malawi with an immediate disbursement of about $35 million, the IMF has disclosed in a statement. Malawian authorities reached a staff-level arrangement with the fund on the 4-year extended credit facility in September. Earlier this month, Malawi devalued its currency by about 30% as it battles severe shortages of fuel, medicines and fertilizers linked to foreign currency shortages. The IMF program will unlock more financial support from development partners. Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera said in his televised national address late on Wednesday. The World Bank would give Malawi $60 million for trade finance, a $217 million package linked to fiscal reforms, and $250 million for agriculture, according to the President, Chakwera. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
On the foreign scene, Liberian opposition leader Joseph Boakai is holding a slight lead in a runoff election with 50.6% of the vote over President George Weah's 49.4% after tallied results from about 87% of polling stations, the Elections Commission said on Thursday. Boakai and Weah emerged neck and neck from the first round of voting in October, but below the 50% needed to secure an outright victory, leading to a runoff on November 14. The election has been widely seen as a test of support for former football star Weah, who was criticized in his first term by opposition and Liberia's international partners for not doing enough to tackle corruption. Now, Boakai, who lost to Weah in the 2017 election, has campaigned on the need to rescue the nation from what he calls mismanagement by Weah's administration. Let's now take a look at sports update with Adeni Ajishafe.
The draw for 2024 African Men's Handball Championship has been released, with Team Nigeria placed in Group D. The competition in its 26th edition is African qualifying tournament for 2025 World Men's Handball Championship, with top 5 teams qualifying. Group A consists of Cape Verde, DR Congo, Zambia, and debutant Rwanda. Group B hosts Egypt, Cameroon, Guinea, and Congo, while Group C has Morocco, Algeria, Gabon, and Libya, with Team Nigeria facing Tunisia, Angola, and Kenya in Group D. The championship will hold from 19 to 29 January in Egypt. As Team Nigeria gears up towards 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, France, Minister of Sport Development John Owa Eno has taken steps towards ensuring Nigeria's exceptional outing at the global event by inaugurating Ministerial Strategic Committee. The committee members are Ismail Abubakar as chairman, Amaka Shofu as secretary, Paul Onyede, Patrick Okeke, Tisia Okpara, Abolore Alanamu, Olufentu Olusegun, Tunde Popola, Suleiman Isa, Olumide Bamiduro, Brenda Ndifon, Ebuta Ayuk, Barrister Danladi Ibrahim, and Abubakar Waziri. And in football, Super Eagles of Nigeria play 1-1 draw against 141st ranked Lukwena of Lesotho at Goswa Akpabio Stadium in Uyo in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers to 2026 Mundial. The first half ended goalless, while Lesotho came up in the second half to score first in the 56th minute, courtesy of Mosomelo Mawanazi header in a corner kick taken by Shuarelo Bereng. Super Eagles responded 11 minutes later with an equalizer from Shemi Ajayi heading a corner kick played by Kelechi Iheanacho. Eagles will face Zimbabwe on Sunday, 19 November in Rwanda. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight. In case you've missed, you can always catch up across all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.